coming out of Eastern Oregon, damn near Idaho. You're listening to the Double Talkin with Dog-Bite Harris Show.
Witch doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity. Witch doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity. And doctor, I don't care if we go down that road of lonesome soul. Well, I've been there a time or two, but last time it wasn't with you. You helped me get back on my feet after all those hard times and defeat. I thought I was all dead and gone, but you built me up and put me back on top and strong. Witch doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity. Witch doctor, cast your spell on me. Doctor, if you leave me all alone, this house you made just ain't no home. And restless bones fill this room for a lifeless journey into a never-ending tomb. Witch doctor, cast your spell on me. Doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity. Doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity. Witch doctor, cast your spell on me and keep me with you for eternity.
Welcome everybody to Double Talking with Dog-Bite Harris. With me on the Zoom here, I got podcasting sensation W.B. Walker. How you doing, buddy?
Buddy, doing good. I'm busy as shit. Sorry it took me a couple days to get up with you.
Oh, it's all
Crazy
good.
past couple days.
I'm not, so it's all good.
I usually ain't, but I usually don't do nothing. So it's just
Right on.
Past
Well,
couple days just been busy.
why don't you start by telling people about your podcast, man?
I do a podcast by the name of W.B Walker's Old Soul Radio Show. I started back in 2012. It started out playing music that, in my opinion, didn't get a fair shake. Good music that the radio wouldn't play. So, I mean, that's just kind of why I got in doing what I do, and it's been good to me. I've been able to turn a lot of folks on to a lot of good music and stuff like that, and that's what it's all about. So it's been a good shit. I guess almost 11 years now. So
Right on, man. Yeah, I remember when you first started doing stuff. That was cool. You done a lot too, man. You got a lot of you've got a really good ear to catch really good shit before it gets famous or like gets out there, man. And that's what I really wanted to pick your brain on, because I've been doing this for a while too, man. But you've got a real good knack of picking good folks. Like how did the whole cameo on Coulter Wall's album come about?
well, there's a buddy of mine named Justin Payne, and he put a record out, I think back in probably about 14, something like that, called No Place Lower Than High. And I was involved quite a bit. He produced it and done everything himself, played all the instruments himself and all that shit. And he wanted me to do some more skits, I guess you'd call them, on his record. And we done that. And when I first met Coder, he got to meet Justin pretty early on as well. And he got a kick out of me being on Justin's record. So he said, when I put my first full length record out, I want you on there. So once Dave Cobb and all that shit got involved, I really didn't put much stock into it, just because you had some bigger names involved and stuff like that. But when it come time to get the record mastered and all that shit, he told me, said, do your thing. So I recorded that out here in my barn and recorded the little train parts while I was at work and stuff like that. And I just sent it to them. They put it on the record, and it turned a lot of folks on to my podcast. I mean, it's pretty common practice, I guess, for if you do any type of radio, your goal is to turn folks on to musicians, but it's not as common as for musicians to turn folks on to podcasts. But through me being on his record, he's turned a lot of folks on to me and stuff like that. So that's pretty much how that come to be.
Cool, man. Trying to think. That was funny too, because I had no idea, because I just bought the album, but I'd been listening to your podcast before I even knew who the fuck Coulter Wall was. So when I heard you on there, I was like, fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. So
Yep.
what are some of your favorite newer guys? Like what are you listening to these days?
Well, I've been doing a lot of live stuff out here. So an artist that I've been listening to quite a bit, I had him over here. I think he was the last musician one of the last musicians I had here. I had 5 people here the night he was here. But a guy that I think is really going to blow up and it's really going to do good things is a fellow by the name of Nolan Taylor. And he's got a song called 68. So anybody listening, just YouTube Nolan Taylor 68. And I'm telling you, man, it'll fuck you up. It's sad one.
Right on, man. Anything else you think? What else you got going?
But there's all kinds of good shit out there. There's a lot of local talent I've been messing with here lately. There's a fella out of Lexington, Kentucky area named Hunter Flynn. I've had him down here a few times. He's great. I fell out of Huntington, West Virginia, Sam Eplin, great songwriter, great voice, and shit. But yeah, I've been listening a lot here lately. I done a show the other night, and Cody Lee Mooney, a musician out of Illinois, is Cody Lee Mooney. It's like Mooney, but instead of an M, it's Moomey. He's a musician out of Illinois. He's a good friend of mine. He just put out an EP that's amazing, and he come down and stayed with us there last weekend, and we done a show in Huntington, West Virginia. And he's somebody that I've been listening to a lot. I fell out of Eastern Kentucky, Travis Napier. Travis is badass, man. He's kind of like a cross between like a Waylon and I don't know, he's got like a Waylon sound, but at the same time he has like a kind of 90s grunge type sound to him. He's just a great voice. hell of a songwriter. He's somebody I think folks should listen to. I think to date, as I'm talking to you now, the last show I done on my podcast, which you can listen to on iTunes and Stitcher, everywhere podcasts are available except Spotify. I don't really fuck with the Spotify stuff. I just don't think they pay artists fairly. So that's kind of my stance on that. I could reach a bigger audience with my podcast, but I don't, I'm not much on the Spotify folks. But yeah, just the last episode I done, WBWalker.com website, you can listen to it. It's Travis Napier. It's a live show we did back on my birthday back in last summer, and it's really good.
Right on. Cool, man. Like I said, I'm always like stoked to hear what you're up to, man, what you're listening to. Out there, you're in West Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw you're gonna do your anniversary party at what is it? I think that
It'll
was
be at the Loud.
huh?
Yeah. It'll be at used to be the V Club.
That's
They
what it
changed the
was.
name a couple years ago. It's called the Loud now, but it's the same. Pretty much, the father son owned it, and the father retired, so the son is the one that runs it now. It's pretty much the same place, same environment. They remodeled it, but I mean it's the same people running it, same good people, same good bartenders, and all that shit. And I always do my anniversary shows like around April, May, but I got where's my 10-year anniversary? Like I've been doing it for 11 years, but it's been available as a podcast for almost 10 years. So that's kind of the way I do my anniversary shows as the anniversary of the actual podcast. So I planned on doing it in the springtime, early summer, but it looks like it's probably gonna be in the fall now because I got somebody that means a lot to me that he's not going to be available until up in the fall. So I'm going to move it around that way. I can have some folks that have been real pivotal and a big part of everything I've done. So it's probably going to be in the fall, I'd say.
Cool,
The
man. Yeah,
next live show I do.
I was trying to remember the name of the place because I knew where it was at. I toured up through there with Bob Wayne once, and we played with the 357 string band. Wayne Hancock and Joe Buck was the bill that night. It was a fucking great show. Were you there by chance?
Yeah.
That'd
I
have been
wanted that one.
2010.
Yeah, I wanted that one. But I know Wayne's been there a few times and stuff, but I wasn't at that one. But that's a pretty good lineup right there. I know I was supposed to have Bob Wayne here back around Halloween, I think it was, but we had some flooding and shit, and I ended up having to. I told him, I said, you can come, but might run into some nasty weather and stuff. So, and it's kind of hard to find this place. So GPS and shit don't work real great over here. So we decided to kind of move it out. So he'll probably be back down here, but it might be a little while.
Cool, man. Yeah. I love it out there. It's a cool fucking area, man. Do you ever run into any of the old White family out there? You roll around with them ever?
Yeah, I got a few stories on 'em. I met Mamie at the V Club one time when Hank 3 was playing. But Sue Bob, she was living around like in Dingus for a little bit or around here, and I seen her one day at a gas station on the Northwest Virginia, about 15 minutes from here, and she pulled in this old like mid '90s, early '90s Mustang, had like smoke rolling out from under the hood, and she walked up to me. She's like, "Honey, can you buy me some water?" I guess she was needed some water to put in her radiator and shit. And I told her, I said, "Yeah," I said, "I'll get you one." And she's like, "Thank you, God bless you," and this and that. And I seen her like a week later, and I was at the one gas station we have in Dingus, and I pulled up and got gas, walked in and paid for it, and I come back out, and there's a purse sitting on top of the gas pump. And she's like, "Honey, can you bring me my purse?" Or better impression. She's like, "Honey, can you bring me my purse?" Just
the sexy one.
And I was like, I don't like, I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable touching her purse. You know what I mean? Somebody say, well, something, I don't know. I'm funny about stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
man.
told her, I was like, it's right here if you want to come get it. She's cussing, carrying on and stuff. And I said, you remember that old fella that got you that water the other day when your radiator was having problems and shit? And she's like, oh yeah, honey, thank you, God bless you. So she went from like cussing me to like praising me again. I was like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I was just wondering, yeah, I imagine if you're in that area, you run into them every once in a while if you know who they are, you know. But
Yeah, Jessica, I think he lives down Tennessee somewhere,
oh,
and
does it?
he's married to a lady that I think she's pretty much lined him out pretty good. I don't think he nearly as kind of into the stuff he used to be. You know what I mean? But I've met a few people. I was at a bar one night and I met like Mamie's her daughter or something like that, niece or something like that. And it was her niece, I think, and it was a night that somebody in the White family had OD'd. We was like out the Tyler Childers playing this like little like crazy ass bar in Boone County. And like it went from like everybody partying to like the news was out. I guess somebody had OD'd or I don't know the situation. I assume it's probably an overdose. But yeah, it got real wild in there real fast. Tyler's like, let's get out of here. I was like, yeah, probably a good time.
That's funny. Yeah, fuck, man, it's cool to see these guys getting recognition, man. Tyler Childers and Sturgill, all those guys, like guys that you could see in a fucking bar about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy thing about it. Like I've never went to like one of Tyler's stadium shows or none of these festival shows or nothing. And I told people I was like, how can you go from like seeing somebody in the environment that I've seen them is intimate, as some of these sessions have been and stuff, to go to see them at a festival? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm kind of funny about stuff like that, you know. I
Yeah.
like just to hold on to it. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah, the
support people
crowd
and
will
shit,
ruin
but
it
I mean,
for you,
hell,
man.
yeah, especially when tickets are fucking $300 a piece or whatever if you can even get
Yeah,
them.
fuck.
So yeah, I'm glad they're doing good though, man. There's so many cats that I've you know, played early on, Coder and Tyler and like Logan and Halstead and shit like that. So there's a lot of people that's getting ready to do really, really well. It's kind of just like bubbling right under the surface. And when some of their music comes out and shit, they're going to be doing really good. But Drayton Farley's one, man. Like he reached out to me probably about 4 years ago or 3.5, 4 years ago, something like that. And sent me his EP, just messaged me on Instagram. I played it and I was like, fuck, man, this is amazing. So he come down here afterwards and we done a podcast and his trajectory ever since has just been through the roof. You know, he's opening up for Willie Nelson and all this shit now. It's crazy.
Fuck yeah. So what do you do for work, man? What do you do outside music? You look like you got a pretty good spread out there.
Buddy, I worked on the railroad for about almost 14 years, and I got in a real bad car wreck at work and got my neck and back and shit messed up real bad. Had to have surgery on my neck, and I knew I wasn't able to do my job anymore, so I ended up having to put in for like my pension, and I ended up getting it a couple of years ago. So that's was on the railroad, man, but through circumstances beyond my control, you know, I ain't on there no more. So that's what
Oh,
pretty much like what I do is sit around here, fiddle around when I can with podcasts or this and that, but for the most part, you know, just try to survive, man. That's what all you can do.
oh shit, man. Sorry I brought that up.
Oh, it's all right. It's something I've talked about before. I mean, hey, like I told you, it really ain't nothing off limits for me. You know, if somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna answer it honestly. You know what I mean? So I mean, that was part of my life. You know what I mean? Something
That
I have
sucks,
to deal
man.
with every day.
When
But
did you get in
it
your
be like,
act?
what? When did I get in my accident?
Yeah.
August 23rd of 19.
Oh man. I can't believe I missed that, man. I follow your stuff pretty close. So that sucks. How long were you in the hospital, dude?
Well, I when I had my surgery, well, it was kind of crazy because like I got in my accident in the end of August, and like by the time like they scheduled surgeries and all that shit, like COVID was like real bad, you know. So
Mhm.
I had surgery in June of 2020. So like the surgery that I had, I think they usually keep people like a few nights in the hospital, but like where COVID was so bad and shit, like I had my surgery, then I think I stayed a day or two or something like that. Then they cleared me to go home. But it was mess, man. Like I mean, you have a pretty major surgery, having 3 discs replaced in your neck, you know, and like none of my family could be there or nothing. Like, and I just by myself. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, I just had my knee worked on last year, and they still couldn't have any family in there or anything. I had to drive 4 hours
It's
to the
crazy.
hospital. My cousin had to wait in the car the whole time. But that's fucking sucks, man. Fucking yeah, and then it's amazing what they'll make you wait for, man. Like I had to wait almost a
Yeah,
fucking year to get mine replaced. I can't believe they made you wait that long for fucking shit in your neck.
man, it's just like with the insurance companies and with you know responsible parties and this and that. They want you to exhaust every possible thing before they'll do surgery. So I had to go through countless
Physical
sessions of
therapy.
physical therapy,
Yep, me too.
and I had to go through like some cortisone injections or whatever they are and shit
Jesus.
like that, and just to get to the point where there's like, okay, we exhausted everything now. Let's do surgery, even though I pretty much knew that surgery was going to have to be what we do, but they put you through all that, just jumping through hoops and all that shit, man. It's
Yeah,
just
for
a
me,
fucking
it,
mess.
it drained all the fucking insurance money I had, so I ended up fucking owing a bunch of money. But it didn't, of course, it didn't, my regular insurance didn't cover everything. But yeah, they fuck you. But
I got some doctor bills, brother, that would keep most people up at night. I can tell you that. Like it's
yeah, I
yeah,
imagine that fucking sucks.
yeah,
Well, but at least you're still here and breathing, man. We could,
buddy. That's what I'm saying. I'm just it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I got T-boned by a bus in a minivan. So like
but
the last thing I really remember from it is looking over and seeing that fucker coming. I was like, oh, this is it.
yeah,
This
that
is
was
it.
actually what happened to me, man. I was in a minivan. I got T-boned by a truck, not a bus. But luckily, dude, it slowed the fuck down enough. And it's a place where people usually are hauling ass. They don't see the speed reduce or reduction, and they're usually doing about 65, 70. And luckily that guy was one of the few people that actually slowed down. So he was probably only doing 30, 25 when he hit me, but
Yeah,
destroyed the
it was
fucking
raining real hard.
thing.
Yeah, that morning I got in that wreck, it was raining pretty good, and the roads were real slick. So I, I, I think if it would have been dry, it'd been a lot better. But like people trying to stop and shit, and fucking brakes not sliding on blacktop and shit like that. I mean, just it's a bad deal, man.
Yeah, I the sun was right in my eyes. It was early in the morning. The sun was coming up, and I couldn't fucking see him. It was my fault even because I just couldn't see the dude. I pulled right out in front of him. But yeah,
Mine, I wasn't. I was a passenger, so mine wasn't like I didn't really have no control of it. I mean,
oh shit,
just one of them things, kind of just hold on, hope for the best. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ, man. Um, so did it hit the driver's or passenger side?
He hit the driver's side,
Fuck,
but it
how did the
was
driver
pretty.
do?
It where it hit was like he didn't. She didn't get hurt, and my engineer was sitting behind me, and I don't think he really got hurt. Or he never said otherwise anyway. But she was all right. She was I guess she did. I mean, like I ain't talked to her since, but I mean, she didn't seem to be hurt. But like as soon as it happened, I knew like something wasn't right.
Mhm. Yeah, me too. I got out of the van. I thought everything was fine. Then my knee buckled, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I couldn't see anything wrong with it, man. I'm kind of a big dude, so like, it took me. I had to go to the doctor 3 or 4 times to fucking get him to even acknowledge the fact there was a problem. Then I had to wait another
Yeah,
month to get an MRI, and that was a bitch. They don't want to just
yeah,
give those out for whatever reason, but. Yeah, and it was still a bit of COVID. So they had like a truck with the MRI machine out in the fucking parking lot of the hospital. I had to walk my ass. So I did like they injected my knee with the shit. And then I had to walk my ass in like 100-degree weather across the parking lot with this gown on, my ass hanging out to go sit in the MRI machine. But
yeah.
yeah.
They're they're real hospitable folks. Ain't they? They take care of you good.
Yeah, and they probably charged my insurance like fucking 20 grand or some shit. I don't know. But
Yeah, you had to pay them parking lot fees to walk through it and all that good shit and all that stuff.
yeah. So you're going to fucking WrestleMania, man. I'm fucking jealous, dude. I've always wanted to go. I've never been there. It's gonna be a good year too, I think, man.
Yeah, I've never like I growing up. I was a real big wrestling fan. Like I was always like real big into Stone Cold and stuff. And I mean, I keep up with it. I mean, I know who champions are if it's on TV and stuff. You know, like I watch certain pay per views. Like I watched the Rumble there whenever it was, a month or two back, whatever it was. But I still watch it pretty good. But I had it just by chance. I had a musician come down here from South Carolina or come up here from South Carolina. His name was Luke Israel, and he brought two of his buddies with him. And one of his buddies named Houston Hughes. He works for WWE. He's a cameraman. So he was
Oh.
like looking around out here in my barn and shit. And he's like seeing some of my Stone Cold shit and stuff like that out here. He's like, man, if I could help get tickets, would you come to WrestleMania? And I was like, well, fuck yeah. So he wasn't able to get tickets, but where he travels so much and shit, like he had like a ton of miles and shit, like flying miles and stuff. So like he was able to get me and a buddy of mine like to pay for our flights and stuff like that. So we just and my buddy Justin I'm going with, he took care of the tickets and all that stuff for us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I gotta leave here about 7 o'clock in the morning and I think I fly out like out of Charleston, which is about an hour and a half from here. I think I fly out like I don't know, sometime in the morning. I gotta look again, but my buddy Justin stays on top of that shit. He just tells me when to be there and what to do. You know what I mean? So I'm flying out pretty early, lay over in Atlanta for a little bit, then hop a plane to fucking La La Land. You know what I mean?
So it's 2 days now too, right?
Yeah, yeah. We're leaving tomorrow, so that put me getting down there the 30th, and um, I think NXT is the 31st. I think. Then the Hall of Fame, or no, maybe NXT is the first. The Hall of Fame shit is the 31st. WrestleMania is after NXT on the first, I think. Then WrestleMania the second night is the second. Is on the second. Then I think we're gonna try to go to Raw on the third. Then
I
I'm
hear
gonna catch a red
Raw's
eye and come home.
I hear the Raw after WrestleMania is always the best Raw of the year too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Always some big shit that happens, always like storyline changes, big things that happen. So I almost
I'll
anymore.
tell you
Oh, sorry,
on
buddy.
that second on that second night of WrestleMania, like I got tickets like before they walk out of the entrance ramp or whatever. Like I'm right there. I'm probably like if you're coming from the entrance ramp, like I'm on like if I was a wrestler, like looking down the entrance ramp, like we got seats like on the right hand side, like right there against the rail, about 6 or 7 rows, like from the 6 or 7 rows, I guess forward from the back of the the seating there. So I'll be right there on the gate, rocking me a big Colter Wall shirt. So if you're in my bib overall, so I
I'm a,
shouldn't be too hard to
I'll
find.
check it out,
Shouldn't
man,
be too hard
because
to find.
I'm gonna watch it. I forgot it was actually this weekend, and I follow it pretty close. But man, there's just like so much of it going on right now, and some of it's not that good. So I kind of like don't watch like the actual programming as much anymore. I just watch highlights now. But I tried to catch the main pay-per-views like you. I kind of stopped paying for the AEW shit after a minute because like as much as I really like it, it's not worth fucking like 50, 60 bucks to me.
Yeah,
Um, but I'll do the Peacock thing for like 10 bucks or whatever and watch Mania this
yeah,
week.
yeah. I got to do that tonight. That's one thing that I made myself a little to-do list of things I gotta do tonight, and I gotta re up my Peacock that way my boys and stuff can watch. And hopefully, see me on there. I'm
Right.
sure the first time they show me on there, my phone probably gonna be blowing up. All my buddies will be texting me and shit, and send me screenshots and stuff, and it's gonna be pretty neat.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I've always wanted to go, man. I was actually talking about going this year with one of my buddies because we're on the West Coast. It's the closest they're going to come to us for a while. I mean, they went to Seattle
Where
when
you live at?
I live in Eastern Oregon. over in a small town called Hermiston is where I'm at right now. So, but
Shit, one of my best friends live in Hermiston, the watermelon capital.
what? No shit. Who?
Yeah, yeah. Her name's Jackie Pryor.
I know Jackie. She came over to
Yeah,
see Billy Don Burns when I booked him out here.
yeah. She's one of my best buddies. I've been friends with her for a long time.
Yeah,
Like
I know
she
Jack.
always sends up. She sends my kids shit for Christmas. Sends me and Fallon stuff for Christmas, and we send her stuff. And but hell, her dog just died. So if you're listening, Jackie, just know we're talking about you, and I love you, and we got you in our prayers. So just, but there's a lot of good folks out that way, man. I always remembered. She always told me it's the watermelon place. You know what I mean?
It sure is, man.
Famous
It's
for your
watermelon
watermelon.
capital. Yep. Um, there's a guy from your neck of the woods. I don't know if you'd know him. He's kind of like not really our style of country, but his name's Sonny Ledford, and
Yeah, I know of him. Yeah.
he married the guy that's the big watermelon dude's daughter out here. So small
Yep.
world.
I'll be all right. Do it old watermelon crawl, brother.
But yeah, Jackie's cool, man. She showed up to a few of the shows I did for Billy Dawn out here, and then I think she did some stuff with Josh Morningstar here too.
I know she's went to some Josh shows and stuff like that. I know she's told me that, but she's a big supporter of everything I do. Like anytime I have, hell, whatever kind of merch I got, whether it be hats or other than me, she probably is the only person other than me that has like one of every hat I've ever done. You know what I mean? Like she's always bought my posters and hats. She's a big supporter of music. Just great people. She's one of the easily like top three people that I've met through music, but I've never met in person. Like someday if I'm in the position to meet certain folks, she's definitely one on top of my list. She's just great people. Like me and my wife and my kids, we all love her to death.
Right on, yeah. I think her and her husband have a farm out here, maybe. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, yeah, they got a big old farm. Got a bunch of animals and shit. They got a pretty good setup.
Cool. Yeah. Hmm. So trying to think of anything else. So who's who's one of your favorite guests to have on?
I don't do a whole lot of interviews and shit. Like, but when it comes to like people that, well, hands down, the best interview I ever done, and we become good friends out of it, and I mean, I'm telling you God's honest truth. We talked a long time before the interview, talked a long time after, and he told me, so well, hell, you got my number now, we're friends. And like he asked me if I had any merch I can send him. I sent him some shirts and sent him some stickers and shit like that. And man, when he got them, he called me tickled to death. He just little things like that you could tell meant the world to him. But old Billy Joe Shavers, hands down, probably the best interview I ever done. And
Oh,
like he didn't probably make it like I don't know. I'm gonna say probably maybe 2 years after I done the interview. He was gone. So that meant a lot to me. But probably the best show or the most memorable. I mean, I've done so much shit, man. Like I've had Tyler play in my living room, and just to me and my wife, and like some of them songs from that session, like had millions and millions of views on YouTube and shit. But like probably the most just it was hot as hell, midsummer. Naturally, when you're recording audio, you don't want a big AC blaring in the background, So like there wasn't no AC on, just hot as hell. My barn ain't real big. It's like inside here is like 12 by 24. So you got 10 people in here, like a lot, especially when you're drinking and smoking and this and that, a lot of body heat. So probably my most memorable show I've done out here was when I had Arlo McKinley on the show, and it just almost felt like a spiritual type thing. You know what I mean? Like everybody that was here that day, that's something me and my buddy Jacob McComas the other night, we done a show together, and we was talking about every time we get together, we just kind of like just reminisce on that show, how special it was and stuff. I mean, if the walls of this place could talk, man, like they'd have a lot to say. I'll tell you that. And some stuff I hope they wouldn't repeat, but we've had some good times in here.
Yeah, right. Now, Arlo is a good one, man. I just got onto his stuff a couple years ago, man, but he's good. Good.
Yeah, I first met him. First show he ever played for me was my 2 year anniversary show with Justin Wells and Tyler and Arlo McKinley and Brittany Avery and a bunch of them. And that was a good show. So Arlo, the first time I played him, I think it was 14, something like that, 2014.
Wow, that's a long fucking time ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I was gonna say is what are some of your favorite memories, but they kind of went on the same boat, I guess.
Buddy, I've had so many good times out here. Like the stuff that really sticks out to me isn't necessarily, I mean, it's the music, but we've had so many just good times out here, just good people get together. Like I've been blessed. I mean, I've never really had nobody really get out here and get red or show their ass or nothing. You know what I mean? It's just when people come here, they're usually always respectful and stuff like that. So I mean, like everything I've ever done out here for the most part's been good memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Um, Anybody just been an asshole?
Not musician wise.
Not
I've
music.
had a few. Not musicians really. I've had a few people that's had girlfriends that's a little over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, but you deal with that, especially when you have people from different walks of life and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, 99.5% of the time, like it's a very chill environment out here. You know what I mean? Like I've had maybe one or two things that like kind of aggravated me a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, and that's out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times that I've had people here. So yeah, I mean, I've been blessed. You know, what I mean, it's been a good experience and a good time for the most part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good run, man. If you've had that many get-togethers out there and haven't had too many issues, man, that's good.
Yeah,
Right,
it's been fun, brother.
right on. You ever think about doing a music festival or anything, or?
Maybe someday, but like if I done one, I'd want to do one here in my community to like bring, to help the community of Dingus and Mingo County and general out. So I mean, it's something we talked about, but like it'd have to be it'd have to kind of be the perfect storm. I'd have to find the right place, and it'd have to be somewhere that is off the beaten path, but not too far off the beaten path, that where you can get power and shit like that. So I mean, it's something I've thought about. Not saying that I won't never do it, but that'd probably be down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But hell, when I do my anniversary shows, they're kind of like indoor festivals because I mean, especially like my 10 year when I do it, it's gonna be 2 nights, and like I usually have 10 or 11 musicians a night. So like my shit, probably the most comparable or the most probably the shows that probably are the closest to like the shit that I've done would be like the Moonrunners Festival or something like that, where it's
yeah.
indoor and stuff like that. That my shit's kind of like that when I do it to that extreme. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. So can you give any hints on any of the artists that'll be playing? I know you say you got one you probably don't want to give up at least, but if is there a couple you can drop some hints on?
I've talked to a lot of people and stuff, but honestly, like other than like the kind of the bigger name that I'm hoping gets to do it, like I really don't have nothing really set in stone. Everything's kind of built around him.
Okay.
So once like I get confirmation and I know that date, that's when I'm gonna definitely, because it's hard right now to book it when I don't know for sure what date you know he can
That
do it.
person's gonna be
So it just
available, yeah.
so it just I got a lot of people in mind and stuff like that. But I mean, most people are folks that I've played over the years. With it being a 10 year show, I want to include people that have been involved throughout the years, plus bring on some new faces and stuff like that. So it'll be something that it's gonna have like, I mean, naturally, it's gonna have like my feel all over it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be stuff that when people come to it that come to most of my shows and shit, but like, oh yeah, I remember seeing such and such back this year. It's gonna be a lot of folks I've had. And I'm gonna bring, like I said, a few new folks in and stuff like that. But I'm wanting to kind of celebrate the journey and the just the past 10 plus years. You know what I mean?
Right on, man. Well, shit. We're getting down to the wire. Got about 3 minutes left. Do you want to tell people where they can check your podcast out, your website, if you got merch, anything like that?
I ain't got no merch right now. I get people every day message me wanting to know about when I'm gonna have more hats and stuff. I ain't got no merch right now, but all the podcasts I've pretty much ever done are available. You can listen directly on my website, WBWalker.com, iTunes, Stitcher. I'm pretty sure it's on Google Play Store. Just pretty much anywhere podcasts are available except for Spotify. I don't like I said, I don't mess with them dudes.
Yeah,
But
as an artist, I
yeah.
appreciate that as well. They give me like a fucking eighth of a penny for any one of my plays. That's
Mhm.
that mine's on there, but that's because like it's just the easiest place for me to put anything on right now. So, but
Yeah.
kind of looking for new outlets because they get more views on YouTube anyways. But fuck Spotify.
Kind of like a thing, people will pay like 10. I don't know how much it is. I ain't never subscribed, but let's say it's $10 a month. People will pay $10 a month. Be like, fuck, I can get all this music and listen to it on demand whenever I want for $10 a month. But in return, people bitch about concert tickets being so fucking high.
Mm-hmm.
But they're most musicians and shit. They're wanting to make a good living. So, that's a big reason why ticket prices and shit are so high, because they're not making music or money off music like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, vinyl records sell good and shit, but I mean, like, it ain't nothing like the sales ain't nothing like they used to be when, like, you couldn't stream shit and, like, you either had to get it, illegally or you had to buy it. But now you can just pay $10 a month and listen to anything you ever want to listen to, pretty much everybody put out. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still try myself. I buy music, and I mean, that's how I am. If I want to hear something, I buy it.
Yeah.
And I usually won't listen to it till I can buy it.
It's about to hang up on us, but thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. And just whenever you get it done, let me know, and I'll share the fuck out of it.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, brother.
Bye.
Lighting up cigarettes in the 7th grade. It's what my mother taught me as she was falling asleep, driving down 68. Drove just to get us back safe, wishing hard that I could escape. Tripping down all the steps of the local school bus, wishing I didn't have to go home. Oven was heating the house, if our electric was on, I hoped I'd left money for us, 'cause 3 days and I haven't had much. And I'm tired of being nice, I just don't have it inside me. I can't take much more shit from you. And I have cut you out of my life. You love me when you need a high. I'm done spending my money on you. Dad was off, then boy we were gone, driving around and listening to tunes. 'Cause we had peace of mind. If she couldn't find us, we're all constantly on the move. My whole life I've been running from you. Oh yeah, and I'm tired of being nice, just don't have it inside me. I can't take more shit from you. Yeah, I done spending my money on you, 'cause I'm through with you. And I'm through with you.